Hey, look, the thing is, you need to just be a little more strategic. I work with leaders all the time that are either giving or getting this feedback. Regardless of the scenario, the story is the same. It isn't that the leader in question is sitting around idle. It's that they are too focused on the tactics, like optimizing the journey of a single car in a single lane going in just one direction versus thinking about the direction, flow, and volume of traffic across a vast geography. Big difference. If this is you, I have no doubt you're doing great work. It's not your work, not anymore. And time is of the essence. You will become part of the staffing model. The system will evolve to a point where you are occupying an essential tactical role from a labor perspective. Think of an assembly line where the leader has stepped into a critical production role that the line can't do without. In extreme situations, the labor model actually has to change before the leader can make any substantive changes to their behavior or suffer an operational disruption. However, most of the time, the leader can ease out, trading tactics for strategy by doubling down on delegation and coaching, which is the first of our 3 strategic SOPs we're going to discuss. Once leaders are able to use delegation and coaching to extract themselves from enough of the tactics, they can begin their scope alignment efforts, which must be completed before any workflow and design efforts can begin. Let's do a super quick double click on the how. Delegation and coaching. The purpose of this SOP is to move you out of and keep you out of the tactics while ensuring your team receives the coaching necessary to tackle the opportunities this creates. Done right, it positions leaders as coaches and mentors, focusing on development rather than delivery. As you can see, this 5-step SOP starts with creating and continually updating your work in progress daily. Scrutinizing this list of activities and the initiatives at least once a week, identifying what can be delegated and to whom, then developing a delegation and coaching plan for each item. Step 4 focuses on the actual delegation and assignment of the work. Once done, it needs to be tracked when it was done, what expectations were set, and the intended follow-ups on your work in progress tool to ensure you and your team take action. Moving on from delegation to scope alignment. Your scope defines what you lead. It is a 5-letter acronym which helps you, your team, and stakeholders align on the why, the what, and the how. It consists of your team's strategies for achieving its cultural and business objectives and realizing its purpose within a dynamic ecosystem. Leaders looking to use this framework to establish and align on their scope should work it backwards, assessing the ecosystem and the dynamics any plans must address, aligning on the team's purpose by focusing on the value it must deliver to key stakeholders within the ecosystem, establishing clear business objectives and discussing cultural considerations before aligning on the winning strategies which will deliver them. Any SOP addressing this type of work should begin with a rough draft which can be used to think through the possibilities and assumptions, then propose the timing, process, and participants based on those assumptions, which can then be pressure tested with supervisors and executive stakeholders, all before holding brainstorming and then decision-making sessions, which should give way to final approvals and eventually change management. Of course, the process is not a one-time thing. Your scope is constantly changing and should be discussed and re-examined annually, sooner in the wake of seismic shifts in the ecosystem. If done correctly, Most scope discussions culminate in some level of alignment regarding if or how the basic operating model and structure of the team or teams must evolve to actively pursue the strategy. Enter the work design SOP, the final SOP in this powerful strategic trio. Once again, we have an important acronym to help you remember the remaining components of an org design. The WORK acronym stands for Work, Methods and Tools, Organizational Structure, Rewards and Recognition Systems, and Knowledge and Capabilities. Work design efforts can range from small tweaks to large efforts with cascading impacts across the enterprise. They should start either way by translating the scope into potential work impacts and then gravitate to pressure testing those assumptions with supervisors and executive stakeholders, then moving toward the inclusion of people experts to assist with proposing timelines and process before engaging teams in aligning on current state opportunities and then moving to leading options and the likely impacts of those options. Step 7 should begin by determining the high-level options that need to be pursued and then gravitate towards the final step. Step 8 should focus on the authorization for any detailed planning that now needs to occur in order to transition to the future state. Taken together, these 3 SOPs will get you out of the tactics and into strategy and help you translate that strategy into a supportive operating model and organizational design. Detailed versions of these and other SOPs are available in the Leadership SOPs app library, where you can adopt, edit, and activate them on your own personal schedule. You can access the Leadership SOPs app from the Apple or Google Play app stores or on the web at leadershipsops.app. I hope you'll check it out soon. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and as always, lead on.